As you all know, I am Mo from Nexit Concept Limited, and the topic we're about to discuss on today is travel abroad with your dependents. We are comparing USA, Canada, UK, and Ireland. Today's topic it actually promises to be extremely interesting, so please hang on and stay with me throughout the whole presentation. And should you have a question to ask me, I would like you to kindly drop your question in the comment section, and once I'm done with the presentation, I will definitely attend to the questions. Hi, good afternoon. Now, one of the biggest reasons people go abroad is to give their families a better standard of living. Like we all say that everybody wants to japa, you know. A dependent visa is a very powerful tool created by countries to help families live together while studying abroad, so that you don't have to miss your family too much. You see that this is an amazing opportunity. It allows professionals, students, permanent residents, and others to bring their family that is in a different country to their new home country. And that is one of the reasons why we are here. We at Nexit Concept Limited can help you understand the intricacies of the dependent visa process in order to reunite your family and build a happy life abroad. So in order for you to travel abroad with your dependents, you need to get a dependent visa. A dependent visa is a type of visa that permits the spouses and kids to travel to an overseas nation for the purpose of accompanying or joining you as a student with a corresponding visa. With this process, the dependents can either choose to travel with you as a student, or the dependents can choose to join you as a student after you have traveled already. Now, to apply for the visa on behalf of the dependents, the applicants, which is you as a student, have to prove you have enough funds to support the dependent, and that you will not rely on state or public funds to support them, while the dependents on their own part will have to prove that they intend to live with the primary applicant during their stay, and their relationship with that applicant is actually very genuine. And children under the ages of 18 would have to prove that they are not leading an independent life, and that they rely on the primary applicants, which is you as a student. So some documents are actually required that will prove the authenticity of that relationship that you have with your dependents. Documents such as marriage certificates, international passports, bank statements is also required, and so much more. Some countries even go as far as requesting for photographs, like your wedding picture that demonstrates the relationship that you have with that particular dependent. With all this, they actually just want to see the authenticity and be very sure that every document is well detailed. Now, some countries may actually require IELTS as part of the documents that are required for the dependents, such as like Canada, for instance. All they would want to know is that the dependents can actually speak fluently in English. You know, I see that you all are actually joining in, and I guess that I've been rushing just now. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, good afternoon. I see you all joining. So to apply, actually, you need to gather all relevant documents, fill the visa application form, book an appointment, and take your necessary forms to attend the visa interview. But as for the US, there are many steps to the process of getting a family member from a foreign nation to the US. So a US sponsor, who may be a citizen or a green card holder, files Form 130 with USCIS. Type 130 provides details that confirms the family relationship's validity. So now, talking about US in general is exactly what I'm trying to explain here. And the US supporter would need to supplement the forms with documentation showing their citizenship or green card certificates, as well as documents proving their relationship with that particular dependent. But as for Canada, in order for you to have your dependents in Canada with you, we have family members such as your spouse, your kids, while parents, grandparents, and kids must be supported by Canadian citizens and permanent residents. Now, in general, your spouse or common law partner could actually be included in your own immigration application. Now, the dependents' children of your spouse can also be included in your visa application. And for the UK, visa holders in the UK can actually apply for a family visa for the following dependents as well. They can apply for their spouse or legal partner. They can apply for their child under the ages of 18. Now, the applicant must prove that he can support his dependents when they are in the UK. He must also prove that he has the required funds by showing this in the bank statement. While for Ireland, you are not allowed to bring in your spouse or your dependents to join you. As we all know, non-EU international students studying in Ireland are not allowed to do this. They are not allowed in any way. So spouses spouses of those that actually want to go to Ireland, they have to go through a different immigration route. So as a student, you are not allowed to bring in your dependents, not in any way. So you are applying to Ireland on your own, and your dependents are actually applying to Ireland on their own on a different separate immigration route. Actually, there are two types of dependent visas. We have the temporary visas and we have the permanent visa. And the temporary visa holders are for work, intra-company transfer students, and for the permanent students visa, we have the for those that want to go for permanent visa, they have immigration routes. So for students that actually want to take their dependents to travel, then for those that want to take their families abroad with them, we have different visas. We have practically different visa processes that they can actually go through. Do you understand? Now, there are different criteria that they need to go through. Now, they always request for applicants to have a valid international passport. The sponsor must have adequate financial resources to support the dependents. Work and income proof for the sponsor is also required. Medical examination is also required, and evidence of making sure that they have a very, very good health. It's actually also very, very important. So we need to have the medical records and everything already, you know. So they also need to pay for their immigration health surcharge. For like UK now, for instance, they need to know that they can actually afford the fees that will be required for the dependents, and they can take care of them well while they are there. So a little bit of detail about the US. Traveling to the US with your dependents. As the world's leading destination for immigrants, the US offers several ways to help families live together legally. Whether you as a student or a professional, you can actually take advantage of this process to bring your spouse, your children, your parents, and other relatives to the US. Now, with our vast experience at Nexi Concept Limited, we can actually help you choose the right visa process and apply with confidence for you and your dependents. Like I said, that our major focus is on the students, but the US actually allows various visa holders the ability to bring their families to the US. Students, professionals, entrepreneurs, and others, they have the ability to call their dependents to the US under a variety of visa programs. So take for instance the F2 visa. This is for dependents of F1 visa holders in the US to study. F2 visa holders cannot work or study in the US. J2 visa is for dependents of J1 visa holders who are in the US as part of the research, medical, or business training. And H4 visa is for visa issues to family members of H1B visa holders and allows visa holders to work and study in the US. Now, other dependent visa processes for dependents, that are scientists, refugees, and all others that actually wish to live with their dependents in the US, and also they can do so with various amounts of processes that are actually involved. So the F2 visa is the one that is our major focus, which is for students that wishes to study, and you need to get a dependent. So for the F2 visa is actually for the dependents, while the F1 visa is for the students that wishes to study in the US. So I'd like to talk about some of the documents that are required. So it is important to create a comprehensive visa application with as much evidence and documentation as possible. So with Nexi Concept Limited, we will assist you with each aspect of your application, help you with your documentations to make sure that everything is in perfect order. And some of the documents that you will be required to bring, amongst others, are, as you all know, you need your passport, you need your background documentation, you need your partner's documentation, including marriage certificates, extensive evidence of relationship, including photos, other proof of relationship, income proof of sponsor to show adequate finances, completed application, and consulate fees are actually required as well. English language skill is also required. And if calling your child, they must be under the age of 18 at the time of the application. So the H1 dependent visa is also called the H4 visa. Yeah, it actually gives the right to live, study, and work in the US. Now, the truth is, the US visa application can be quite daunting. It is a very daunting process. So at Nexi Concept Limited, we will be by your side all through the process to assist you throughout the whole process, So we would actually help to guide you through the intricacies of the US immigration process. We would help you identify and collect all your documents. We will complete the visa document checklist for you. We would help you create your application package, and we would help you fill the various forms that are required, or we might actually just direct you and guide you through the forms that are required to fill. We will definitely upload and update you on the follow-ups, and also we would help you to prepare. Should you have to go for your interview, we would help you to do that. We would help you with the preparations and the interview processes, and show you how visas have actually been paid for each and every one of the processes that are actually required. So the processing time for US dependent visa are variable depending on individual circumstances. The visa actually depends on H1B. If the H1B approval is present, then ideally it should take at least a week. However, it will take longer if USCIS has a verified approach system. If they've actually gone through your documents and everything, it might actually take about a month or a month and a half or so, or thereabout. So you notice that I'll be talking about the H4 and all of that. It's actually also known as the dependent visa. That is all the H4. So in order for you to be able to apply for this H4 visa for dependents for US, the procedure for applying for this visa is similar to the other types of H visas. So to apply for the US dependent visas, you have to fill the digital form DS-160, pay the fees for H4 visa, schedule the appointment for the visa interview, submit all documents required for the visa, attend the interview, and obtain your H4 visa. So your application and interview will decide whether you'll be given the visa or not. The status of your application can be checked on the US Embassy website when you have applied. That is, you will be given a password so you can always check, at your own time. And you'll be notified by the embassy once the process has been has been done and the embassy processes your H4 application. So you have to go for processing for once your visa has been approved. This will be the last step to be completed prior to booking your trip to the US. So some of the documents that are required during the US dependent interview are they need the evidence of marriage that indicates a wedding invitation cards. In fact, it actually includes your wedding album if you have some. You can actually take it along, it's okay. The copy of your passport is actually required as well, including the ones that are already expired. Letters for verification of employment, few receipts of the US visa applications, tax returns, and Form I-797A, H-1B primary form, documents of primary H-1B spouse, that is in case you have a sponsor that is going on with you, Form I-129, H-1B application copy, H-1B LCE copy, birth certificate, the original, if the dependents, visa applicants is below 14 years. Pay stub is also required. All the things that will be required will definitely be communicated to you for you to be able to go for your interview to the US. So for the UK, so you want to live in the UK with your family. The dependence visa process helps UK citizens and certain visa holders call their dependents to live with them in the UK. With this visa, you can bring your spouse or partner, your children, your parents, and other close relatives to the UK. At Nexi Concept Limited, we will help you to understand the intricacies of the dependents and apply for you, with highest chances of success, as you all know. So the dependents could actually include the spouse, your legal partner, the child under the age of 18, the child above 18 if they are currently in the UK as dependents. And you as the applicant, if you are a student who wants to go there, you have to prove that you can actually support your dependents financially. It's actually always very required that you should show proof of bank statements as well in order to back this up. And within that back statement, 6,500 needs to show for each dependent. Okay, so say you want to go with your dependents. In your own bank statement, you must prove that you have £6,500 in your bank statement, in addition to what you already have as your proof of funds in your bank statement. But if you are not going with your dependents and you are going as a student on your own first, then you need to your dependents needs to create a bank statement that will read for bank 28 days as well, and will show their own 6,500 in that bank statement for the dependents. It needs to be there. It's actually very, very important. So there are various ways by which you can get a dependent visa for your loved ones. You can actually apply for your dependent visa as a Tier 2 visa holder. You can actually bring your spouse and children under this program. You can also study and work in the UK under this visa with some restrictions. After a period of 5 years, you can apply for the indefinite leave to remain in the country, which means that you can actually apply to get your PR after 5 years of actually living in the UK. You definitely have to apply for that. And then the UK parent, spouse, or child visa. This is actually gotten for British citizens, and certain individuals can actually call their dependent spouse, parents, or children who are not currently in the UK to live with them. The visa will be valid for a period of 2 years and 6 months and can be extended. Now, if your dependent's visa application is successful, you'll be granted permission to enter the UK and with an unrestricted freedom to live in the UK. So there are no work restrictions. You can always get jobs while you study as a student, and you also can get to work, which means that you can work at any job and at any level of skill while in the UK. and your dependents can actually do the same. Isn't that amazing? And the duration at which your dependents can actually stay, if you follow the immigration requirements for this visa, you'll be given permission to stay indefinitely in the UK, depending on the visa holders. You can apply for British nationalization and citizenship after spending minimum of 5 years. Now, a dependent can actually choose to apply for visa either within or outside the UK, and the documentation required for visa for the dependents depends on the route that you're actually applying through. So some of the documents that are required are the passport, we have the background verification, documentation, we have the marriage certificates for the spouse. Don't worry, UK doesn't necessarily have to see your marriage pictures. So other proof of relationships, if you have them, like your newspaper publication, if you want to, can actually be, it's not necessary, you can actually submit that as well. But the finances is actually very, very important. Like I said, the bank statement, a complete application and consulate fee, which is also very important. So for English, you necessarily don't require English, your IELTS or all that, as long as they know that you can speak English. It is actually not important for you to get that. So if calling your child, they must be under the age of 18 as at the time of the application. So say you're applying from outside the UK, the dependents can actually apply to live with their partner or relatives in general. They can actually apply from outside the UK. So to get a biometric residence permit as part of the application, they need to get their fingerprints and pictures taken at the visa processing center. They need to also do their TB test. They need to pay for their IHS fee. They need to pay for their visa fee. All these are actually very, very important, and they are very required. They also need to obtain their biometric residence permit within 30 days of getting to the UK. Depending on which country they are in, they may be able to get their visa faster than other services. So how can we help you at Nexi Concept Limited? The truth is this: applying for UK dependent visas requires a meticulous and thorough approach. We can actually help you with your documentations and your application processes with a very, very high chance of success. As you all see our testimonials and you see how many of our students are actually excited about the courses that they're studying and how easy it was for them to go and study. So why aren't you putting your application for January intake? What are you waiting for? Really, why don't you just come on board, send us a DM so that we can help you to make your dreams come alive. So we would help you by guiding you in choosing the right strategy and help you to choose the right schools and courses. We would make sure that we assist you during your application process. We will check through your documents, your form applications, fillings, updates. Post-landing support would also be granted to you from us at Nexi Concept Limited. Isn't that really exciting? So like I said, independents can work in the UK, and your dependents can definitely work in the UK in their tier 2 stream. The conditions of employment are specified that you can be employed until the time of your visa is actually valid for the students, until the time that student's visa is actually valid. So once the term of that primary visa holder expires, your visa also ends. So I'd like you to put that into consideration and note it. So say you have a visiting visa and you're already in the UK, and then you know someone that wants to come around, and you know your visiting visa will soon expire, and they are meant to be coming back home, and you know someone that is coming as a student, and you say, you know what, I actually want to apply as a dependent so I can stay a little bit longer from the UK. If an individual like that, we would always advise that you must not have a visitor's visa for you to be able to apply as a dependent of any category. If you do, you must exit and apply from outside the UK. So individuals with any other type of visa in the UK are qualified to actually do this and apply for their dependence visa. So it's actually very important that we take note of this. So in terms of the length at which it will take for you to get your visa, for you to go as a dependent, it takes 14 to 15 working days to process the dependence visa. If the application is made from outside the UK, it depends on the immigration history of the applicant. If the application is made from within the UK, then it takes around 8 weeks for the postal to arrive. So for Canada, IELTS, it's actually not mandatory for Canada the dependence visa. Nevertheless, they can incur some extra points to the primary applicants if they apply along with them. This is if the dependent scores 6 or plus bands in IELTS is ultimately boosts the profile of the primary applicant and increases the chances of obtaining your permanent residency. So to facilitate families to live together in Canada, the government of Canada allows eligible residents above the age of 18 to sponsor dependents, spouses, children, parents, partners and grandparents to live with them in Canada. So at Nexi Concept Limited, we can actually help reunite you with your family with our dedicated Canada dependent visa services. You really don't have a problem, but I know that I've been saying a whole lot right now, and I know that you would have a lot of questions to ask me, and I would still like to ask that whatever questions it is that you have, that you please just leave it at the comment section, and I will definitely still answer them. I see some questions already coming in, and I hope that you've been able to understand so far in respect to what I've been talking about Canada, talking about UK, talking about Ireland. And please note, like I said, that for Ireland, you need to go through your own immigration routes for you to be able to, individual immigration routes per se, because as a student, you are not allowed to go with your dependents to Ireland. You are applying by yourself and you are going by yourself, and all your fees need to be shown by yourself in your own account. And for Canada, for Ireland also, we have to take note that the fees are actually paid in full. Like we always say, that you need to be able to make sure that your fees are paid at once. It's actually very important. So you're all by yourself with your fees being paid at once for Canada. So I still see a lot of comments that are coming in, and I still see you guys waving at me. I hope that I wasn't rushing things too fast though. So I'm just trying to see how best I can continue with this. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, so in terms of Canada now, as I was saying though, the documents are actually relative. So in terms of getting your documentations, you need your background documentation, you need your passport, you need your marriage certificate, other proof of relationship is also required. You need bank statements as well. You need completed application, and consulate fees that are also required for the way it was required for UK and US. And at Nexi Concept Limited, we will help you in completing your visa documents checklist. We would also help you by giving you assistance during your application process, form documentations, the applications, filing, updates will be given to you as well. So to be honest, I don't know what you're waiting for, because January applications have already started running. So I would really like you to come on board and apply. Send us a DM if you want to go to Canada, you want to go to US, you want to go to UK, you want to go to Ireland. It is an amazing opportunity to study in all these countries. To be honest, it's really a wonderful thing to be there. So I'd like you to send us a DM if you are interested. Like I said, if you're interested in any of these countries. And also in Canada, dependents are actually permitted to work. They need to have an open work permit for this, and to allow them to work full-time anywhere in Canada without any curbs. They can actually reside and work in any part of the nation, including Quebec. They can actually work there as well. So the only way to obtain this permit is after arrival in Canada though. they must have actually obtained their work or study visa at the earliest. They have to have all that, and the sponsor can file for an open work permit only if they have a valid Canada visa. So say you want to sponsor your parents to Canada, or you can actually do this if your age is actually 18 years and above and you reside in Canada already, and you have a Canada PR, and as long as you have your PR and you're a PR holder, you have adequate funds to sponsor your parents to come and meet you in Canada, you must be able to offer proof of funds for them to be able to come down, and just to show that you have adequate funds. Then you can actually invite your parents to join you in Canada, and you can do this through student visa. They can come and settle with you in Canada if you are a Canada PR holder, like I said. So to get your dependent visa for Canada, it takes roughly 3 months after submission of all the documents, and after you've gone through the interview to be held at the embassy for Canada, where the dependents reside. So after this, it is more or less waiting for your visa to be stamped, So in order to apply for your dependents to join you, like I said, you must be 18 years and above, and your partner must be a partner of the family class. Otherwise, you would have to be able to sponsor them. You must be a citizen, permanent resident, or have a work permit to actually sponsor your spouse. And you must also have a genuine relationship with your spouse or your dependents, which it's actually very important, So you must, it actually must. You must actually have a very, very genuine reason with your spouse, and you have to be able to show the documentation of that reason, for you to be able to allow them come over, to allow them stay with you. And the duration of your relationship must be at least a year old with your spouse or your dependents. The relationship that you've had with them must be at least a year old, and you must have all the evidence to prove this. It's actually very, very important. Okay, so that's that about Canada. And so if you do want to travel to any of these places with your dependents, just send us a DM in order to indicate your interest, and we'll definitely get in touch with you. I don't know if this has been so short, but so I've been able to give you all the comparisons of each and every one of these countries, and I would want to go through your questions now and see if I can actually have a chat with someone. So please let me just go through and check through your questions. So just hold on, just give me a minute. Let me just go through and check through your questions. I see you all waving at me and I'm saying hi. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, good afternoon. Okay, so someone says, can I genuinely go with my mother as dependent since my husband is working and the kids cannot stay with me alone and cannot also stay there? Of course, you can actually go with your dependent, your husband as a dependent. Or you said, can I genuinely go with my mother as a dependent since my husband is working and the kids cannot stay with me? You can go with, if it's the UK, yes, you can actually go with a family member, even if it's not your husband, as long as you have someone that is actually going to stay with you and be able to take care of the kids while you are actually working. It's very, very important, because if you want to go alone with your kids, you'll be questioned and they will have to ask you, like, why exactly do you want to go alone with your kids and you're not going with someone to take care of them? It's very, very important that you do that. And you also need the permission of your husband to do this, because they would require some form of documentation to show that you've gotten the consent of your husband before you can actually do this. So I need you to put that into consideration as well. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I'm trying to go through and see more questions. I'm trying to go through and see if I have more questions. So someone says, does the number of years of study add up to the 5 years? The truth is, it actually depends on the course that you're going for. Say you are actually going for a course that has like you have a placement, an industrial placement with that particular course that you're going for. It could give you a longer duration to stay in the UK. Like for the UK, for instance, it will give you a longer duration to stay. So you have courses that last for like 18 months, and you still have your 2 years post-study work visa to go through to add to that. So if you can count that, and it adds up to whatever amount of years that you have or months that you have with that particular course, including the 2 years post-study work that you have, if you can amount to 5 years, then you're fine to apply while you're in the UK. If not, then you'll be required to come down here, probably get a job over there before you leave, come down here, apply from here, and then go back, if you understand what I mean. So you could actually do that as well. So let me see through your question. Someone is asking, what about Canada? I think I've said a little bit about Canada, and I hope that you actually got them in respect to what I said about Canada. And someone says, can I use my uncle maternal as my guarantor? The question is, why would you want to use your uncle maternal as your guarantor? You need to kindly send me a DM so that we can actually understand this question very, very well. We need to know exactly why you would want to use your uncle as your guarantor in the first place, and see how best we can advise you in respect to that. You might not need to, so we might. Please send us a DM so that we can have a normal communication with you and understand why you would need your uncle as your guarantor, and also see how we can advise you in order to help you to make the best and the right decisions, so that you don't make a mistake when doing your applications and all that. So someone says that, can you talk about temporary work permits? So yeah, you can actually work as a student. Say you're traveling to the UK now, and you want to work and study at the same time. You can actually do that. So you have say like 20 hours per week, per day that you can work. Sorry, you have 20 hours per day that you can actually work, and it's always better that you don't default on these hours, because it's always very important. If you do, then you have to start paying taxes on those hours, and you might be flagged for it. So it's always very important that you take note of this, so you can definitely work while you do that. So someone says that at the end of the 3 years, 1 year of school and 2 years post-study, what happens? My dear, at the end, by the time you are done with your study and you are done with working, now it's a two-way thing. You might actually decide that, I want to come back to my home country, or you might decide that, I want to continue staying. So you will definitely have a conversation with those that you're working with. It's a 2 years post-study work. So if you have a communications with those that you're working with and they decide to retain you, then you would have to apply for that. But you don't necessarily have to come down. So you have to apply for that. So it depends on your retainership. If they decide to retain you, you can actually come down and then they retain you, or it's always even best that you actually have to apply for that. Apply for you to be retained due to that work that you're doing in that place at that time. Do you understand? Or you come back and then the office calls you to come and continue working with them. So it depends on the rapport that you've created in your 2 years of working, the relationships that you've had, the network that you've been able to gather for yourself in your 2 years of working would help you to determine how well you actually want to progress in your career path. So you might decide that, I want to come down to my home country and I want to use the ideas and everything that I've learned to benefit my home country. Or you might say, I actually want to continue working in that particular organization where I am at. So you have to talk to your director and then try and have a conversation with them and see how you can have a consensus in respect to how to help you in your career growth. I hope that answers your question. So yeah, it's 20 hours per day. So you have 20 hours per day to work. So someone says hi. So which college are you using in Canada and US? Okay, for you to be able to know this, we would have to have a conversation with you. We have to know the course you've studied. We have to know the courses that you've studied. We have to know exactly what it is that you've done, how you've done it. We have to know where you're coming from to be able to advise you in respect to US and Canada. getting to school. So once we have a conversation with you and we know exactly some basic information about you, then we'll be able to advise you further and tell you exactly what it is that you need to do. Hi, I see you waving at me. It's per day. It's per day. It's per day. So, because someone had asked me if it's per day or per week. So, if you want to have more conversations with us, you might have to like if you want to have more conversations with us, we would like you to just send us a DM. We'd like you to send us a DM, and someone says I think it's weeks for students. Okay, yeah, someone says it's weeks. I might have made a mistake there. Per week, and then you have 40 hours during you have 40 hours per week during holidays, and you have 20 hours during school sessions. Sorry about that. Yes, you have 40 hours during holidays and you have 20 hours during school sessions. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Thank you so much for that. Which school have the lowest deposit on enrollment? Okay, so for the schools that have the lowest deposit on enrollment, you need to have a communication with us. Send us a DM, and then we'll talk to you about it. And someone is asking about CAS. You need to tell me what it is that you want to know about CAS. Tell me what it is that you want to know about CAS, and then we'll relate it to you. But still, you need to send us a DM, and then we'll be able to help you out, you know. So, someone is asking, what is the chance of someone to get a PR after 2 years stay in the UK? The chances are high. Like I said, I've already explained this part about your PR. You have to stay in the UK for like 5 years. So after staying in the UK for like 5 years, you will definitely be able to apply for your PR. You know, so it depends on how you want to go about it. But the most important thing is that you stay in the UK for like 5 years. Do you understand? So yeah, sorry. In respect to the work hours, is actually per week. It's actually per week, and it's 20 hours, and then during the holidays, it's actually 40 hours per week. My bad, it's a mistake on my part. My apologies. You know we are human. So that is that about that. So if you have any more questions to ask me, please ask me. You know, we can actually be tense sometimes when delivering these presentations to you sometimes, and you know, everything just mixes up in our head and we forget, you know, and then we start thinking about it, and then we add everything together and then give you the right information. So so sorry about that. And then let me try and see if I can actually join. Let me see my time and see if I can actually add someone to join within a bit of the time. Let me see if I can just have a chat with someone. I can just say hi to someone and just say hi and just say hi. I'm waving at you. Please, I hope you've been able to enjoy this presentation. I hope you've been able to get one or two things, and you've been able to learn one or two things from the presentation. You know. And I hope you understand all that I've been saying. I see you all just joining, and I'm saying hi, and I'm waving at you. Okay, so yeah, I was trying to invite someone, but the person seems to be off. I just wanted to try and invite someone to just come and join in, and let me just see your faces and just say hi, you know. But I hope you've been able to enjoy this session, and I hope that you will be here same time next week for more informations being dispensed to you in respect to studying abroad, and for you to be able to japa. You know what I mean. Someone says I joined late. Is it going to be recorded? Of course, you can go on our Instagram page, or you can go to YouTube, and you'll definitely see it there. It's definitely going to be there on our Instagram page, so you'll definitely get the chance to see it. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been so much fun. You know, it's been so much fun, and I hope that by this same time next week, you will definitely want to join with us, and we would have a chat like this again. You're right. So thank you so much. I have to go now. And like I always say, I am Mo from Exit Concept Limited, and it's so good to have you here. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.